Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday. It's the 4th day of October 2023. I hope you and your family are safe and healthy today, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field who, along with the first responders every day, are saving lives. And those that pick up garbage for us to keep our streets and sidewalks clean and disease free. And those also that make deliveries, the humble work of delivering things like mail, food, and water for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation, pedophilia, or kidnapping, like that young 9-year-old girl in upstate New York who they rescued yesterday. Double curses on those that are involved with prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on them, and double curses on all those that profit from those things. Double curses on all the perverts that create the industry for these ugly things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and children, many senior citizens, homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Today, I want to talk about MOBB DEEP. You see, brethren, any team that wins a championship today in this era which we live, you must have a bench. You must have some ancillary players that can contribute to winning. That's the key here. You must have ancillary players. Yes, you're going to have your main players. Some call them stars, superstars, what have you. But you got to have support. No player, no superstar, not Antetokounmpo, not Jokic, not anybody wants to be the guy that's the savior that carries a team alone, because it's almost impossible to do. You need that support group. You need those other guys. And just mentioned the other day the trade that Phoenix got involved with, the Dame Lillard trade, and pulling the players that it pulled, basically fixed what I thought was missing from their team. They had all these superstars, the Durants, the Beals, the Bookers, but they did not have those other guys that you need to get the chip done. Now they do, okay? And so every team needs those ancillary guys. Now the key thing is not only to have those ancillary guys, but to have them be very proficient at filling their roles. It's very difficult to get a guy that's being played in a role that's not his natural role, okay? But it's very good, it's very efficient, it's very high level to get a guy that is playing his role and is built to play that role. Now we're talking about the New York Knicks. So what we're saying is I've been calling the bench MOBB DEEP since Obi got there, because Obi and IQ, they came in together and they brought a flair, almost like a New York style flair of athleticism, especially with regard to Obi. And athleticism, a flair, a dynamic aspect that inspired me to say, oh, that's MOBB DEEP, right? Inspired me to use the prodigy a term, MOBB DEEP, because the survival of the fittest, they were just like that. They inspired that because of their style of play. And since then, I've been calling the New York bench MOBB DEEP, even though now Obi is not there. And that's what brings us to today's focus. So MOBB DEEP has acquired a Charlie Hustle flavor. And it's really good, because this is the thing. Obi was really, in my view, as he is going to be in Indiana, a starter that was coming off the bench. And while that is very strong, he was kind of playing out of position, because Obi was like a horse that's a thoroughbred that needs to stretch his legs and was only getting a little piece of grass to run on. He needs more time, more minutes to stretch his legs, to open his wings to fly, right? He's going to get that in Indiana, and good for him. Leon Rose did him a solid. But he was really not built to be that type, to be a player that only played 15 minutes a game. But with Isaiah Hartenstein and Josh Hart, you got two guys that are built for the bench. They are proficient. They are professional bench pieces. People try to downplay role players. That's people that don't know NBA basketball. You need role players to win a chip. You need them. Okay, without them, you ain't winning. Okay, every team that wins a chip in this day and age, maybe the last time you had a team that didn't really have high, and even they had it, but the Miami Heat with LeBron and Wade and Bosh. But even the one of their chips was with Ray Allen. They had Shane Battier. So they did have some role players there too as well. But that's the closest thing I would say to a team that wins a chip without the contingent that you need. Other than that exception, every team needs those ancillary players to support them to come through. And so the Knicks have these two guys, Hart and Hartenstein. One thing for sure. See, we could talk about an R.J. Barrett. Is his shot falling, right? Does he have the Ray Charles glasses on a given night? Is he missing everything? And you never know. Maybe his shot's falling, maybe it's not. You could talk the same about Julius Randle. Maybe his three-pointers falling, maybe he's taking bad shots. You don't know. But one thing about Hartenstein and Hart, from day one, from night one, from minute one, every night, they're coming 100% on both sides of the basketball. They're diving on the floor for loose balls. They're playing tough defense. They're being tough in general. They're getting tough rebounds. They're getting second shot opportunities, offensive rebound. These guys are going to do that every night, full tilt from day one. And they're built to do that. That's what they're made for. Neither of these guys I would want as a starter. Okay, not long term. I wouldn't want either. That's why Tom Thibodeau has Mitchell Robinson starting, and if when Mitch Rob misses games, it's going to be Jericho Sims starting, not Hartenstein, because he's not built for that. He's built to come off the bench and play at a high level 15, 20 minutes. Hart also. Hart could start, but you don't really want him starting. That's not what he's built for. That's not his game. But if you have him coming off the bench in MOBB Deep, the Charlie Hustle flavor takes over MOBB Deep. Okay. Now, also, you still have Dante DiVincenzo and IQ, who both, especially IQ, I feel IQ more than Dante. Dante could start some games. Okay, there's no doubt. And you won't be hurt too bad by him starting. He's a very high-level player, efficient player, knows his game, knows his limitations, plays basketball at a very high level. IQ, to me, is a starter coming off the bench, but IQ is getting more than 20 minutes a game. IQ gets 20, 25, 30 even sometimes minutes a game. So even though he's a starter coming off the bench, unlike Obi, his minutes are not as limited. He's going to get his minutes, okay? So between the four of them, you got two guys that can really start, and you got two guys that are really built to come off the bench. That makes a terrific bench for New York. And again, you still got Deuce McBride in the background if you need him, okay? I don't know where he's going to get his minutes. Really, honestly, I feel like the Knicks are going to lose him at the end of this season. But that's another story. Because, he's too good to sit on the bench like that. But what else you going to do? You got 9 dudes. It is what it is. So, but MOBB Deep with the Charlie Hustle flavor, that's going to be big time for New York, especially when it comes to playoff time. When it comes to playoff time, that's going to be major league. See, if you can play the starters, and this was, if y'all remember, the first year of Tibbs, and especially the second year, let's go with the second year, the 37-win season. The starting five was totally, unbalanced, totally inconsistent. There were many times, when the starting five would be coming out the game behind, and MOBB Deep would come off the bench and get us back in the game or even win the game, okay? And that was because at the time, at that second year, you started Kemba Walker, you started Evan Fournier, and, we know that story. So that's part of the problem. But my point here is that the bench was saving a starting unit. This year is different. You got a starting unit, as Tom Thibodeau mentioned, went 37-22 down the stretch. You're starting off the season with them. You don't expect them to come out of games down. Not all the time. Every time you're gonna have some games where you're down. But I mean, for the most part, those guys will probably come off the bench because Tom Thibodeau said it was +5. But when I looked at Stat Muse, or it was something like Stat Muse. I forgot which one of these sites. They were +8 together, those five, the starting five. So between +5 and +8, you're expecting that when they come off the floor. So now you come in with MOBB Deep, and you got a strong MOBB Deep. Okay, yes, they're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but they're gonna bring that hustle every night. IQ's gonna be ready to play every night. Dante too. You got a crew that's coming in like tigers, ready to go, ready to attack. Okay, that's gonna be big time during the season, but especially playoff time. Especially playoff time. It's gonna be very important. That's why I like the Knicks to be top 5 this year. I like the Knicks not only to be top 5 this year, but possibly top 3. Okay, because not just the starting 5 is the continuity there, but MOBB Deep is gonna be tough. Y'all have a good Wednesday. We'll talk soon. Shalom.